Okay, made some beef stew for the second time tonight. First time there was no recipe, so this time there wasn't either. I just kind of remembered what I did last time. Looking back, I should have added more carrots, and this time I didn't add any radishes. I added about 8 radishes last time, and that was just a really good root vegetable flavor. I think I was missing on this one. I also coated the beef in flour and seasoning this time to brown it. And I don't think I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to brown it in some oil, because I think it ended up taking the flour particles and making a gravy kind of out of it, which some people might like. I don't think I like it as much. So here's the play-by-play.
A bag with salt and pepper, garlic, and onion powder in it. I'm going to add a little flour and toss the beef in. Alright, they're nice and coated by now. And make sure they're really dry before you put them in there. You might want to rinse them and dry them. Once they're coated enough, we're just going to brown them for a second and then take them off and deal with the vegetables. We'll brown them on all sides. And it's okay if it's a little charred. That'll cook off when we add the stock. Set the beef to rest while you deal with the vegetables. And look at all that. We'll deglaze this pot later with some beef stock once we cook the vegetable. Onions. Last time I used a whole white onion and a whole red onion. If you don't like onions, you can use a little less. I love onions. You don't want to make it without any onions. Trust me, you're not going to taste the onion, but it's going to add a lot of flavor to the broth. So make sure you have at least one whole onion. These aren't very big, but I use one white and one red. Here's all my onions. Onions are very sad, make you cry. Here's a cup. It's probably 2 or 3 cups of onions. So I like a lot of onions. I'm going to move. I got the carrots cut and ready. I use baby carrots, but obviously you can use whatever. I like the uniformity of the baby carrots. Here's my kitchen helper that'll eat just about anything. I heard it's bad to give dogs onions, so we don't drop onions, or if we do, we rush to pick it up because she's very quick. But it's probably a little over a cup and a half of carrots. So a lot more onions to carrot, but the onions are going to cook down where you hardly even notice them. Let's check back in on the oil. It's still hot, and not super hot though. Don't touch it, it's a Dutch oven. I'm going to add a healthy 2+ tablespoons of butter before I add the vegetables. Alright, we'll wait for the onions to get a little softer, and the carrots especially, while we cut the celery. Okay, I've got 3 ribs of celery here, and I like to cut a rib in half down the middle lengthwise before chopping it up. I don't know why. I've got all my scraps here that'll go to the compost for the worms. That's a whole different video, but you don't want to put, if you are vermicomposting, you don't want to put too much onion in there, or else they won't like it. Go ahead and add a little tomato paste just to thicken it up a bit. The rest of that tomato paste. Stir it in real good. I think I'm going to cover them for a little bit while I cut the potatoes. So I got 3 medium-sized potatoes, two mediums, 1 small, from a big bag of potatoes I got from Walmart a while ago. I always scrub my potatoes, even if I'm going to peel them. I scrub them with this little scrub brush, vegetable scrub brush. Makes all the difference in the world. Pretty good. You can see it's taking some of the beef bits off the side, mixing it in. Alright, we add the potatoes. 2 medium potatoes, 1 small potato cut up. I like to cut them very small because, think about it, it'll take them a shorter time to cook and more possibility of getting potato in every bite. Alright, got all the potato peel over here. This is the worm, going to the worms. So you can see the onion was evened out by the potato peel. Alright, potatoes added. Pretty chunky right now. I'm going to go ahead and add some beef broth. that one. Probably gonna need a little bit more. So we'll do some red wine, maybe some more beef broth, but definitely the red wine. Go ahead and add the beef back in. Okay, so we added, I'd say, a cup and a half of beef broth, a cup of red wine, and then probably another cup, maybe a cup and a half of beef broth, and about a cup of water. Give it a little leg room. Alright, now I'm just going to cover it and cook it, and I'm going to check it in 30 minutes. But I'm sure it won't be done. 30 minutes. Cover it up. Actually, I better get it up rolling again before I turn it down. Heat it back up. Alright, that's good enough for what we need it for. Now I've got the oven on high. I'm going to go down between medium and low. Cover it. Give it a stir. And once again, don't touch your Dutch oven. It's not going to be a good idea. Okay. Portions look about right. Cover it up and give it a check in about half an hour. After cooking covered for 15 minutes, I think I'm going to cook it uncovered for a little while so it gets some of the juices out. We don't want to lose them, but it's just a little too soupy right now. Alright, so we're going to add some garlic powder. Don't go crazy. Onion powder, even though we've got 2 onions in there. And some rosemary to give it a little aroma. Okay, cut up some parsley, maybe a cup or so. I'm going to add half of it now and use half to garnish at the end if I need it. I probably won't even need half. Try to avoid as many stems as you can, just so no one gets a stem in their mouth. Just kind of toss it in. A lot of people are intimidated by parsley because of this. Don't worry about it. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. Still simmering nicely. I've got a spoonful with celery, carrot, potato, and red onion in it. This will be able to tell us if it's time to take it up. The potato's actually pretty soft. The celery's almost there, and the carrot needs a good bit more time, so I'm going to give it another 15 minutes. The way I have, now I've not just let it sit, I've been stirring it at least every 5 minutes, if not even more frequent. Alright, let's put another 15. I did it mostly uncovered. And I realized I didn't put bay leaves in, so I popped in a couple of bay leaves before that time. So let's hope we got some of that flavor. Grab a chunky carrot or two. They're still, they can still cook. I'll give them 10 minutes. Start with 8. Give them 8 minutes. We'll go from there. But I'll talk real quick about seasoning. So I definitely added a fair amount of black pepper. I have a pepper grinder, so I did about 10 grinds of coarse pepper. But salt is the most important part, and it's where people make bad tasting food, is they don't add enough salt. A lot of people don't like too much salt. I don't like too much salt. So I added just a little bit of this Mr. P's marinade. It's got a good salt quality. You don't have to use all your table salt. But I also added probably 10 to 15 dashes, maybe even more, of this kosher salt. It is hard to get it back once you've over salted. It's happened to me before. my opinion, you can't really over pepper. And I added some onion powder and garlic powder and rosemary, like you saw. Parsley is technically part of the seasoning. Bay leaves. That's about it. Alright, so the timer went off after 8 minutes. So I've been tasting it a lot. Hey, taste Beagle. See if it crunches. You missed it. Didn't crunch. Let me try one. And still just a little crunchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 7 more minutes, making the total time 1 hour. And I'm gonna cover it, but I'm still gonna stir it. And I think grand total is 1 hour and 10 minutes of cooking. It's looking nice and hearty. Make sure you stir it frequently. I love this spatula because it really helps maintain the condition of the cast iron and doesn't scratch it and gets all the liquid out. So I got the biggest carrot I could find. Let's see. That's good enough for me. Take it off the heat. Even though that's not going to do too much because it's Dutch oven. Take the rolls out. Ready? Okay. Now I'm going to put them in the plate and garnish them with the rest of that parsley. We're all done. Extra parsley off the rim. Alright. And so when you are plating these, make sure you don't put a bay leaf in there. Nobody wants a mouthful of bay leaf. But that's about it. Super easy. Takes a little over an hour to cook. Probably 20 minutes, not much to prepare. So 1.5 hours and you'll be eating. Enjoy. Okay, well, we liked it, but I think next time I'm gonna add more carrots. And last time, I remembered after making it that I added radishes, about 8 radishes cut at least in half, maybe quartered. And I really liked that. This was good. It was real good. I was told it was more gravy-like, which is it's kind of like what you get out of the Dinty Moore cans. I added over a pound of beef, and they're very small chunks of beef. So I could have probably used bigger chunks and right around a pound or less than a pound. Other than that, I mean, it was delicious. It was totally delicious, but I think last time it was a little bit better. Maybe use a little less wine. Maybe use so less wine, more carrots, radishes, bigger beef. And last time I didn't use the flour coating on the beef. I just put it right in an oil. So that may have had a little bit to do with the gravy aspect of it. So depending on what you like, flour coat them if you want it more gravy-like, or don't. It was just as good this time though. So, all right, I'm gonna package this up. This is probably at least 2 more servings. We had 2 huge servings, so you could probably feed 4 off of this, or 2 really hungry people. All right, see you next time.